Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a battle on the Mines map, and it's matmann from Clan in the Bourrasque, the Tier 8 French medium premium tank. As you've seen this tank before, it's a two-shot autoloader. A relatively short time between loading the two shells. Now he's in a Tier 8 to Tier 10 game, so he's bottom tier in this game. Now, the purpose of this video is really to show how to play an auto-loading tank, and particularly from a bottom tier perspective. So the general principle is that you keep your hit points safe during the early stages of the battle, so that you can use your DPM efficiently the end of towards the end of the game, when the tanks that you're firing on are basically low on hit points. Because with two shots, so for the Bourrasque as an example, the average damage is around 350, so your clip potential is around 700, depending on RNG of course. So if you tackle a tank that's got 1500 hit points, as you can see that tank in front of him's got the Patriot, then you're leaving a tank with 700 hit points and firing at you, so while you're reloading, so it's not a safe thing to do. So it's basically taking advantage of your opportunities. Now of course you can snipe like he was doing there, or looking for that opportunity on that T-54 lightweight. He just missed that opportunity, and he's looking for a job, and he's put in shots here, but you can see he's staying back from full confrontation and just looking for those opportunities. So puts a nice shot there into the Tiger 1 just as he's pulled back a little bit from that rock and exposed his turret, and fires his second shot there while he's backing off, but knowing that he shouldn't stay in front of that gun and try and aim that shot in. So this early stage of the game, you'll see he doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and we will speed it up a little bit just to get through these stages. And he's just again trying to finish off tanks that are low on hit points, or find opportunities where tanks are looking in a different direction. So as we come across here, for example, now he's been spotted. He's been spotted there by that 215B. He fires a shot towards that and takes a hit from the pattern because he was lit, and the tanks on the island there can fire through that gap. So that's sort of the danger you face in this early stage. So he's only done one hit of damage. We're only 3 minutes into the game, but one hit of damage, you might think, okay, well that's no good. It's not a useful contribution to the team. So absolutely, you do rely on your team to basically try and keep the game flowing and get into a competitive situation. But his team is starting to fall behind. They've got one tank up in terms of advantage, and he's just looking for an opportunity there on the Object 263. But again, well back from the bush line there, so that he won't get spotted when he fires, and he's behind this rock here, so he won't be exposed to that 215B further up the map there. But the general principle again, keep hold of your hit points, use your gun when you can for your opportunities, and try and keep into the game, but without giving away your hit points, sacrificing hit points for damage until the later stages of the game when you can afford to do that. Anyway, so he's just working around this position. You can see he's not trying to flex around the map. He's not going to these different positions here, heading for the hill perhaps, but he spots the 215B is actually facing towards him. Well, even though the 215B's put a shot into the SU-130 PM, matmann was on reload at that time, so he didn't have the opportunity to try and stop and do any damage while he knew the 215B was on reload. But watching there, he knows the 215B is pulled back, so it was safe to cross up the hill without taking any further damage. So he's just coming up here cautiously, doesn't want to be exposed to tanks on the hill, and he does get spotted here, and that's been proxy spotted by the T28 at the bottom there. So again, have a look at the mini-map, you can see that small circle around matmann's position, that's your proxy spotting view range. So you'll spot tanks within that circle, but correspondingly they'll spot you just by being in close proximity. In case he's decided, right, well, wasn't going to get any value there, he did spot the G-Saw and get some assisted damage, but he knew he'd be lit there, and the G-Saw did fire a shot towards him, just didn't take any damage there. Managed to get rid of the pattern there, so making use of his clip there, exactly the scenario I was talking about, where the pattern had been worked down to hit point value that allowed him to dump his clip and get rid of him. So now he's on reload there. He's used up most of his premium rounds here. So he's going to have to be looking for side shots most of the time. And there goes the 215B. Puts in a shot there. Gets the second shot in again, gets full use of his clip, does take a hit in return, but that was probably a worthwhile trade at that point. Now, it's still 9 minutes to go in the game. The teams are even in terms of guns, but they are a long way behind in hit points, nearly 3,000 hit points. But Matt's still got a reasonably healthy number of hit points. In fact, there goes the 215B. He's been taken out, so he can come back and work this area pretty safely in the knowledge that most of these tanks aren't there. He's found the object 140 there, just seeing the outline, gets one shot in, sets him on fire and gets the kill. That was very fortunate there, just with one shot. Brings him up to 2.5k of damage, so you can see in a relatively short space of time his damage total has climbed quite substantially. Now they're 3 tank guns up, but still behind in hit points, but they're making this work in their favour. He's just getting a nudge there from the CDA, but he's just scouting this corner, looking for whether that T-28 is pushing round, or in fact whether the tanks on the island are exposed. You can see the view range circles are covering most of the map here. This is one of the smallest maps in the game, so people complain that you shouldn't be playing tiers higher than tier 7 or so on this map, but nonetheless it does play with tier 10s, and it's in fact it uses claymores, so people should get used to the fact that, you know, these are the limitations of this map, what you can do with it, and just don't, you know, use the map to your advantage. And it gets nice 2 shots in there to the T-28, again into the side of the tank as it's travelling away, but he's got to pull back into this area here. It looks like the T-28 fired, and just put that round into the dirt. He's fairly held down, but he knows he's exposed. If he stays there too long, the T-28 will find a way to aim in on him, so he pulls back again. And in fact the T-28 has the E-75 drop down on top of him and loses a lot of hit points. And what's going on down there? Well, in fact the Artie takes out the E-75 that did that, and he's just found the T-28 by himself, gets the kill shot. 3.5k of damage almost so far in the game, so more than double his own hit points. So again, just working these positions, keeping in cover and seeing if he can take advantage of the spotting that's going on. Now the enemy's basically been worked down to 3 tanks, and they're all in this corner of the map. They're basically digging in, so, and they're fairly heavily armoured. You've got object 263, it's tier 9 tank destroyer, very strong frontal armour, and the T110E4 tier 10 tank destroyer. Basically just digging in there. Matmann doesn't want to get in front of those guns. He knows that they've got big alpha they'll do with him in one shot. I don't know why he's hanging on to the one shot in his magazine at this point. He's okay, managed to get rid of it there into the E4, but he really had time to reload there, and he would have had potentially the opportunity to put 2 shots in. Now the tanks around him are all damaged as well, so the T-54 Mod 1, the Object 704 that was on the cap has basically been taken out by that Object 263, and so Matt's now got an opportunity to get rid of the E4 now. You can see he's down to 1-shottable, but he doesn't need to. The Progetto on the who's moved up onto the hill has done that for him, and Matt's come around here and he's found the Artie's put himself out in the open to try and get shots. So I guess 1 shot in, takes a little bit of splash damage, but managed to get the kill on the Artie. So that's brought him up to 4k of damage. You can see by keeping his gun in the game, keeping his health, and using his autoloader strengths at the end of the game, he's managed to do a big amount of damage here. So down to the final tank, Object 263 basically needs to know when that tank fires. He needs the players in his team to basically tempt the 263 into playing a shot. Now he can either pull forward and pull back again. No, now he's run straight forward, gets one shot in, gets a second shot in. The Object 263 now can't turn around. If he turns around, he'll have his rear facing towards the T-54 and also to the Progetto on the hill. He does take a hit there. Looks like an HE shot from the Progetto. And look, he's trying to push matmann out and upside down to try and get rid of him and still keep his front towards the end. So good play by the Object 263, but now he's pretty much side on to the Progetto 66, and there you go, he gets taken out. matmann, is he going to die? No, he gets back on his feet. Anyway, that's the game. Let's go and have a look at the detailed results. So that was an Ace Tanker Mastery badge there for matmann. He got the high caliber award for doing the most damage. You got to remember he was bottom tier in this game as a tier 8 and managed to do 48.73 of direct damage and 11.13 of assisted damage. He also got the Levish Leo's medal for destroying 2 tanks or tank destroyers with a medium tank that are at least 1 tier higher. Decent amount of credits and experience, but some of those are from missions. Let's go and have a look how he compared to the team. So you got a base experience of 1540, great result there. Very valuable from a Ace Tanker perspective. Well supported there in terms of the team by the T-54 first prototype, who probably would have got an Ace Tanker as well with 1331. And then good damage there, and particularly the Wheezy 1115A, who got over 4k damage. Would have been pretty happy with his result, even if he didn't get a huge amount of EXP out of it. Good base there. And on the enemy team, the Artie did the most out of that, which is a bit surprising. Well, not surprising necessarily, but it shows how perhaps the rest of the team didn't really pull their weight, although the Jigsaw 1008 got nearly 3k of damage. But the top tiers really didn't pull their weight. So let's see how his in detail went. 17 shots fired, 15 hit, and all of those penetrated. That was a mix of different ammunition types, but he did use all of his premium ammunition, but it didn't have a huge premium loadout there. He managed to damage 8 of the enemy vehicles, so a big proportion of the team, just more than half, and got kills out of 4 of those. So in the end, he made 90,000 credits out of that battle. So again, it's a premium tank, but really getting a lot out of the experience earned as being bottom tier and the bonus that you get from damaging or killing higher tier tanks. Anyway, great game there from matmann. If you like this video, please give it a like as a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please consider subscribing, and look forward to giving you more content during the week. So thanks for watching.